put in a blend of buckwheat, fodder radish and sunflowers in the drill, ready to drill in the cover crop. So we've finished putting barley now and wheat until those spuds are done. Hope it grows. You've got buckwheat, which is the black stuff that looks a bit like mouldy wheat. You've got fodder radish, and we've got some sunflower seeds as well. Ready? Flip the switch, yeah? Just gonna flip the switch now. Oilseed rape out, and we're gonna calibrate this. So we're gonna put oilseed rape on at 5 kilos with the front one. Only really is a cover crop, but if it looks good in the spring, we'll keep some. And then with this one, 5 kilo mix of buckwheat, fodder radish, and sunflowers. We're just folding it out now in the yard, and we're going to change the depth to be a lot shallower. I was in Leyburn this morning, saw a few tractors, so here they are. Like a biomass boiler there, and then New Holland, a set of butterfly mowers. Up in Leyburn, 2 Chinooks flying over the A1. Then with a big tanker on. It's like someone's carting spuds on a New Holland as well with a Richard Weston. Did anyone recognise anyone on them? Tried to leave the yard early yesterday at, I don't know, 2 hours earlier than normal. This plug went on fire. The boiler acted up. Anyway, I left about an hour later than I wanted to. The electrician's going to fix this morning, but it's using that socket, and that socket's now not working. There's obviously a reason why we stopped using it. Now I've got to try and get this melted plug out of here to see why that won't work. Got the plug out, but something tells me that that's knackered in there as well now. So that ain't going to work today. Yeah, so there's the problem. That has got hot and melted, because that's all okay in there. This is a bag of fertiliser produced in Britain. Now, because we've had an electrical problem between France and Britain, which again is another question, is why we're buying, when we've got our own power stations parked up, we're buying electric from abroad. But anyway, because of that, there's been a spike in the gas price. So the manufacturer behind me had decided the day after that it was going to stop fertiliser production in the UK because the gas price was so high. Now, if you're a multi-million, if not billion-pound fertiliser producing company globally, surely you buy your gas more than 1 day in advance, because you were selling your fertiliser in June for quite a high price for delivery now. So you must have bought your gas forwards. So as far as I'm concerned, this whole fertiliser shortage, we're stopping production in the UK, blah, 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 it's just the dirtiest sales tactic there is. Supply and demand, reduce the supply and demand goes up. It's scandalous. So they obviously like put out a price in June for pre-orders, and there wasn't a lot of uptake. So the last ditch attempt now is use what's going on in the news, spiking gas price. Say you're stopping production, everyone panic buys fertiliser. Apparently yesterday was the busiest day for fertiliser trade because everyone thought they weren't going to get any because they'd stopped production. Now, it's definitely marketing, because that's why they were shady and hazy with the details as why they were stopping production in the UK. Well, sorry, the duration that they were stopping production in the UK. Was it forever? Was it for a day? Was it overnight? Whichever. But I buy my fertiliser and sell my wheat in advance. So why would you not be buying your gas in advance? So last year, when it was an all-time low because the world had stopped, you'd have been buying a lot up then, wouldn't you? And you'd have been able to produce this a lot cheaper than your June prices. It's just crazy that we just get pushed around by this cartel that there is in the whole fertiliser game. There's only really 1 or 2 major players in the world, and one of them probably owns 70% of the market and can do these kind of tricks. This is the last field of barley to be sown, so we've pretty much finished sowing now, other than the cover crop Sam's on with at the moment until they dig the potatoes. So this, we sumoed it and then we dissed it to get it a bit leveler, because it was still a bit rough from when they dug the potatoes, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago when it was wet. So quite intensive cultivations to what we used to, but it's come up with a nice seed bed. Hopefully, if we don't get too wet a winter, it'll do all right. But if we get a lot of heavy rain within the next sort of 14 days, this could turn to mush. So It's pretty settled. You see pigeons and crows are already trying to find something on it, or eating worms and grubs maybe. It does look nice and neat though when it's worked completely and it's black. I was in Yorkshire this morning, up near Leyburn. Lots of ploughing and combi drilling going on up there. Lots of New Holland tractors as well. I do some random things in the day. Now I'm delivering an ironing board to the other farm because the guest that's staying this weekend asked was an ironing board. Well, there wasn't, we'd forgotten, so I'm just going to tie it up now. Rich is just here with the Fent, this hollow underneath the telegraph poles, filled up with water. So we put a drain in it last year. You know, we just bring some topsoil from the yard, fill it up, level it off, get it a bit flatter so it doesn't flood as much. Because even with heavy rain it used to flood because it's a bit of a bomb hole. Anyway, it should be better now with the drain under it at least. This is the field where we're storing the muck on in a thin layer all over the field. Wheat's just showing through now, which is good. Because it was quite dry this. I know we got a lot of rain after we'd finished sowing it though. But it's nice to see it coming up in rows. This field was a bean stubble. You can see the rows in it there now. You see the rows in here. Now amazingly, this is one of the ones where we had a bit of a problem as well with the drill. We didn't have the right culture pressure on, so we lightly dissed it, but it didn't disturb the seed in the rows. You can still see the seed in the rows perfectly, which is incredible really, considering it moves so much soil. But just checking for slugs, can't just see any, so that's good. Shower rain will look totally different this, because the soil will be black and the green will be more vivid. Any weeds have died off now as well, which is good. Does anyone else spend their life looking for tape measures and extension cables? Because I seem to. It's just one of them things that just disappear. We're putting these fans now on the wheat. I've got these little temperature sensors that are fastened to this. And these are for controlling, I don't know, one of them things that snakes live in. I want to say an aquarium, but they're not, like a reptile-y thing. Anyway, if we use them backwards, so we plug it into that, it's got cooling and heating. If we plug it into heating, and we've set it to 12 degrees. So the ambient temperature today now is 26.8 in here. Well now, when it gets to 12 degrees, that temperature sensor there will turn the fan on automatically, thinking it's turning the heater on, but it's not, it's turning the fan on, and that will cool the grain overnight. Once we get the grain down to like 12 degrees, we take the temperature sensor and then we dive it in the pile, and then we unplug it and we plug it into cooling. And then if the grain heats up, it'll turn the fan on. So it's like a cheap way of controlling the flans without any sort of human intervention. There it is, Project SOWN trailer. We've just Googled as well the reg plate on it, and it belongs to a Ford County. So we believe that it used to be a Ford County, so it's actually probably worth more than I've paid for it, because maybe a Ford County axle's worth something, I don't know. But I think it used to be some sort of dumper, so I think that pivot point used to be on there. Used to have rams on the back, and I don't know whether it's been cut down or extended or it was small. But then there's obviously some sort of chassis here, and then an engine obviously sat in this, on these engine mounts in there. And then someone's obviously converted it into a SOWN trailer. But see if anyone can find me a picture, send it on Instagram, of what it had originally looked like new. We've Googled Ford County dumper and I've come up with a few pictures, but they all look a little bit bigger, but that reg says it's off a Ford County. So yeah, someone's converted it at some time. Needs a bit of work doing. PTO shaft guard's completely knackered. The ram under there's a bit pitted. But you don't really need that because you can just turn the belt on and off. We may convert it though to run off hydraulics rather than the PTO, then we've got a bit more control over it. But we'll see how it works for the first couple of days before we start spending any money on it, and then maybe shot blast it and paint it. It's a decent size though. It looks small, but it's got a decent size hopper on it. It's dead thick as well. If you tap it, it's got a hell of a thud to it, like, you know, it's, well, that's a bit of a lip, but it's thick steel. Got some probably wider tyres put on it as well. Rich is just loading up now with the loading shovel. Some soil to send to that hollow to fill in. Needs a bigger trailer, that tractor, doesn't it? Nick's got a shiny new Hyundai or Hyundai 20 ton digger. Nice clean tracks. Just having a quick look in Nick's new digger, and I've not got the keys, so I can't start it up and show you, but it's got cameras all around it. I think there's 4 cameras around the top of the cab. So when you look at that screen, you can see like a 360 view of the machine from the outside. So I'll get the keys and look at it tomorrow maybe. In the wheat shed now, we put the fans in and we put the little sensors in. Someone have a guess, today's quiz question, what them things are for. What you use them for. It's what snakes live in. I can't remember the name of it. This was yesterday's quiz question. If you look at it from a different angle, it's obvious what it is. It's a 1000 spline PTO shaft in the hole underneath the toolbox. More people than I thought did actually notice that registration. It isn't assigned to the abatement, it's just a private reg that looked cheap, and I thought it'd be stupid not to buy it. But not only that, look at this. BL06 was also available. Looks even better on the yellow as well. Don't know what to put them on, but I couldn't not buy them because they were so cheap off the DVLA. Got the dryer working after messing around with all the plugs and all the sockets and stuff, but phases are wrong, so it basically spun the auger the wrong way and jammed it up, so we had to mess around and get it rerunning and tighten the belt up. That's why I'm black. Anyway, it's probably about it for today, but it is Jack and Molly's birthday and also Samuel Davis' birthday, so happy birthday to you. Yeah, that's about it for today. If you want to watch another video, it's over there. If you want to subscribe, it's over here. Thank you to all the new subscribers, loads of them, nearly at 25,000. Anyone take a guess what day that might be? And if you're a new subscriber, tell me where you're watching from anyway, because we're going to plot it all on a map. It'd be good actually if there was a website that you could do that on actually, and then people could just go on and click, but someone might know if there is one. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow.